Hello, hello. Did I just hear about our super awesome trolls doing another super awesome job? That's just what they do. We have the best troll slayers, the best moderators on YouTube. We just do. It's just how it is. Okay. Oh goodness, Hope is saying you broke your clavicle bone the other night. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I hope you feel all right. I hope you get better. Goodness, goodness. All right, everybody. Welcome. And for anybody who's new here, we usually spend about the first 10 minutes. We kind of chat. I write down questions, political questions you guys want me to read on. And then I spend the rest of the hour doing readings on that sort of thing, on going through the questions. If you have a specific question for me, if you put them in the chat, try to put them all in caps, because then that jumps out at me that I'm more likely to see. I can't guarantee I'm going to answer every question you guys ask. And sometimes I'll get it's a good question, but I have to kind of go with my gut as to what I'm being drawn to read on. So it's nothing personal. If I happen to skip a question you asked today, I may answer it in tomorrow or the day after or something like that. All right, the bonds. Will SCOTUS take up the taxes now? Yeah, we do need to ask about this. It was in the news this morning. Let me just write SCOTUS, Trump's taxes. It was in the news this morning that the Supreme Court is putting off oral arguments for weeks. And unfortunately, though, when they were going to listen to starting on March 31st was the questions about Trump's tax returns. And hello, Sharon. And it's a question of when they can actually look at that. So we should. I just had a question from Clotho. What are the chances that Trump is taking virus advice from Putin? Okay, so is Trump cruel, incompetent, or traitorous? It's really Trump's reaction to this situation. Is it cruel, incompetent, or traitorous? And oh, you'll love this. I figured out I got one of these for really stupid questions, like is Trump going to is he going to tweet something really, really stupid? Let's see here. Likely, very likely. Okay. Anyway, a report on a new vaccine testing occurring in Seattle among, let's see, new vaccine. Okay, I will have a look at that. And did anyone see the interesting conference yesterday? And all Trump was concerned about was the Federal Reserve. Yes, he's a, quote, freaking delusional donkey butt. I'm not going to disagree with that, Renee. I'm really not. Hello, everybody. I love how nice you guys are to each other. Will Trump blame Obama for the flood in the Bible? Outlook good. And what's with Rump just wandering off after his portion of his speaking is done? And is it just me, or did the White House say a day or two early that Trump does not have the coronavirus and we haven't seen him since? Is it just me? Trump's been shaking hands without test results. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I've only got three questions. I can usually do about 2 more. You can usually manage about 5 per reading. Trump threw his paper down like a tantruming child during a nationwide press conference. Pretty normal. Pretty normal. He disappeared quickly. Yes. Abracadabra, Trump, vanish, poof. If only we could get that permanently. Okay, Why Baby's asking, are we headed for depression? Okay, and do keep in mind that yesterday during Astrology Sunday, where I went over a lot of the astrology surrounding what's happening and try to teach you guys some astrology, but also really it was also comparing this current situation and a situation over the next couple of years or next few years to things like the Great Depression, things like the Black Death in the Middle Ages, and things like that, and we don't have the same kind of convergence of, like, we have this negative thing and then that sort of potentially negative thing happening, but we are absolutely do not have this rare horrendous thing happening in astrology. So is this a dry run? Okay, are they going to help the homeless? Magnolia, I hope so, but is this a dry run for something much worse coming? There's a good question. Is this a dry run for something worse? Okay, that gives me 5 questions. And I don't. Will people be able to pay their rent and mortgage? See, this I'm getting a couple. I'm getting a couple of questions about people being homeless, people being. Let me include all that kind of stuff in the "Are we headed for a depression?" kind of. Back in the Great Depression, we had Hoovervilles, camps, big camps of homeless people. It's like, are we going to have Trumpvilles? But there was a different. Okay, Lindsay's asking, reading request. I just logged in, so I may have missed other questions. Was the company video, as I call it, planted by humans? I have no idea when my wrist is itching. Planted by humans. I've read on things like that before, and I'm getting it's just a natural occurring thing. It was just like a matter of time. This isn't planted by. This isn't like a lab blowing up or things being stolen from. It's nothing like that. It's just that's what I'm getting. It's just. All right, we're going to start with Supreme Court and Trump's taxes. We are at, hey, we're starting early. 8 minutes, 30 seconds, and that's a various stuff. And so I think we're, I've been doing steampunk a lot. I hope you guys don't mind. It's just, I'm being drawn to it. So let's do steampunk. Unless you guys, if there's something, Lindsay, there you go. You're most welcome. I feel bad when I can't answer people's questions, or I run out of time, or my gut isn't being drawn toward that. So sorry to everybody who I can't help. So let's see. Supreme Court not starting the oral arguments for Trump's taxes on March 31st makes me crazy. Makes me crazy. Oh, Mims loves the steampunk deck. Great. Steampunk it is. Dealer's choice. I like that, Deanna. I hope everybody's feeling better about things. We're going to get through this. I'll tell you, did you guys see the press conference with Governor Cuomo, New York governor? I think he's the governor, this morning, and he was talking about, okay, we need to find 5,000 new beds in New York, and we need 1,000 beds here, and we need 1,000 extra beds here, and we need 2,000 extra beds here. And why is this higher than that? It's because there was a grouping here, and so we only have so much money we can spend on this, so we are asking people to look around to see if there are particular buildings that we may be able to look, and he was just laying it out that this is what we believe we'll need, and this is what we don't have, and this is what we are. And it was just so, I found, even though he was talking about, potentially scary stuff, I found the whole thing so calming. Because it was just like, yes, he's just, this is what we're expecting. This is, we are having trouble getting hold of the medical supplies. The federal government has medical supplies for, stored away for situations like this. And this is what we need, and these are our limitations. I loved it. It was great. Turn Mar-a-Lago into a hospital. How great is that? Is Mr. Generosity himself going to turn Mar-a-Lago into a hospital? No, it got twisted. It didn't come up. Not likely. All right. All right, that's more like it. 11:30. All right, what is... Roberts, you make me crazy. SCOTUS, when are they going to take up the question about releasing Trump's taxes to getting oversight? Oh, okay. I've got cards falling out, and the whole thing's feeling very unwieldy. Card on the floor. What is that crazy person on YouTube doing? Groaning? No, she's just getting a card off the floor. Okay, we're going to try this again. Supreme Court. When is the Supreme Court? All right, let's make it 12:30, because apparently... have a little iced tea. And when is the Supreme Court going to take up and do, what are they going to do about getting oversight for Trump's taxes? And yes, there is a tone in my voice of, really, guys? Extra card. We'll just leave it there. Supreme Court taking up the question of oversight of Trump's taxes. What are they going to do about that? There are other cases they're looking at that are also extremely important. Okay. I don't know what exactly is on the docket, but or going to be whatever, but in the past, well, they were holding in there. And this is also the strength of the health of the different older members hanging in there. That's what that feels like. Center of the reading. 7 of Wands. They're taking a defensive posture, a defensive position to try to protect the health of... I mean, on the one hand, it makes me crazy that they're not going to take on the question of getting oversight for Trump's taxes, but at the same time, I like that they're protecting Ginsburg. So, base of the reading. Well, this is what they're talking about, the Knight of Swords, taking action. America wants to see action about the Emperor Trump. America's waiting for an answer for action. Fair enough. It's a base. At the top, above the reading, I can pick up these cards. Come on now, work with me here. Huh, weird. Above the reading, we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, so things going quiet. And this Knight of Pentacles, to be honest, it's potentially a powder keg issue. But also, it's being held in reserve kind of thing. So this, to me, this is keeping your powder dry also. I don't know why that's coming into my head, but so hanging above it is waiting. And it's human level waiting. It's not major arcana. Near future, we have the Wheel of Fortune, so it's a matter of time, and fate. So this is fated. There are bigger spiritual forces that are putting this off for a reason. Huh. I did not expect that. And then the Page of Swords. This is people still looking at other things related to Trump. It's not a king. It doesn't feel like action being taken, like major action, but it's definitely like smaller level action. Could be, oh gosh, investigative journalists, could be various investigators, but there's still movement. But this delay at the Supreme Court, this is feeling like fate. But so is this. So it's not going to go away. It's not going to disappear. All right, home environment. We have the King of Cups, and he's waiting. Here we have Democrats waiting. Really? Like this guy, this Victorian gentleman is like, dinner's being put off again. Fine. Hopes and fears. Well, yeah, but the 10 swords, the 10 swords that keep showing up in Trump's political back. Both a hope and a fear, depending on which side you're on. What we see, we're being made to wait. And we could get up and make a stink about it and be difficult, but I think we're just kind of quietly just waiting. We're not happy about it, but we're waiting. All right, final outcome, partnership. Ooh, partnership, which causes disappointment. Queen of Swords, investigators. A partnership that causes disappointment, and there are investigators on the move. Finally getting up out of their chair, being invited to get up out of their chair and do their work. Okay, but this is all human level. All right, so it's important and it feels very strong. So we just have to wait. Now, are they going to get to this in a reasonable amount of time, where it would have an effect like well before the election? Well before the election. Are we going to get an answer on this? King of Pentacles. Those are the Republicans. It actually feels like he's waiting as well. Oh, dinner's been delayed again. All right, fine. Don't know why that's coming to mind. Just waiting. Is it going to be well before the election? They have a lot on their docket. The question is, are they going to, because it's so important, they've set it up early, but now that this delay, are they going to just move everything? All of their cases? Are they just going to knock it down, move it back? Or forward, I should say, forward in time, a couple of weeks? Or are they going to move this to somewhere later and just continue on with the other cases? I guess that's what I'm going to have to pull some cards on. But here we have the Hermit, so that's them waiting. Sorry, okay, they're shaking here. Shaking the cards. This is waiting. This is the wisdom of quiet contemplation. This is the card, this Eight of Cups. I keep getting this card for the conscience, the morality that is missing. For, you know, Trump has all of his gold and all of his stuff, but in this card it just feels like, yeah, but he's missing morals. And then these feel like all the other cases. So are we really going to have to, are they really going to put this off and off and off and off? Because eventually the investigators get up and start working, but they just, it's going to just get knocked back and back and back. I'm being drawn to this. There's a reason. So maybe it comes out at a specific time for a reason. Three of Wands. All right, that just feels like them looking into the future, looking at the Supreme Court looking at their schedule. It's very important. It's a very important case. And it's been waiting long enough. But who is the hangman? Is that Trump? Who's like, the Supreme Court is like, hush. Do not talk about this case. We are taking care of it. Or is this all of us having to wait? Oh, Trump feels mad. Surprise. Dandy and why? All right, it's the card of generosity. It's also the card of it's a justice card because you're weighing options. Judgment. King of Swords. This isn't. This used to come up as Mueller. He was doing his report. Sitting pretty. That's not answering my question. This is what has happened. This was the judgment when we knew all this bad stuff was happening. That's Mueller, and Trump ended up sitting pretty. What about this hangman? Who is that? Is that Trump or is that us? Because hangman is absolute stop. It's a giant stop sign. So who's supposed to be stopping? Trump or us? King of Pentacles. Nine of Wands. Page of Wands. This Hanged Man. Yeah, I think that does feel like Trump being hushed. Those are Republicans. And they don't look happy. And this is trying to find another way to not have to do it because, you know, Trump's going to do anything other than turn over these records. And the Page of Wands. It is, the Page of Wands is often, in the Rider-Waite deck, it's the card of the messenger. So, yeah, this is a big old, you know, Trump be quiet. We're going to look at this. So, but that, okay, so that's them being frustrated, but is this going to be put off and put off and put off? Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Three of Cups. The Ten of Pentacles, to be honest, a lot of this feels like with businesses shut down and this feels like, this can often be the Trump dynasty, but this feels like families and this feels like friends and people being able to get together. And this is business. So I wonder if we're going to have to wait until some of these quarantines are over. That's what I'm being told. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating, but you know, to keep Ginsburg, Ruth alive and, you know, as healthy as possible, fine. They're delaying dinner again. Oh, what a mess. I did want to tell you guys something. Something I read, two interesting things that I read, and I wanted to pass on to you guys. One is that the reason that, you know, this whole thing about don't touch your face, the reason that we touch our faces so much is because our faces are extraordinarily sensitive. We have so many nerve endings, and your face is so, like, you can just walk, you can feel a single, you know, strand from a spider web, you know, and you can really feel it. I mean, our faces are so sensitive. So it's just normal things happen as we're using our faces, we're talking, things are, you know, parts of our face are moving, or we're frowning, or or you get heat or cold or change and whatever. Our faces and we're getting signals that, and what we're used to all of our lives is if you get a signal, you touch it, and that kind of tamps down the signal. And that's why we're always touching our faces, because they're just so sensitive, and we're just used to doing that to tamp down the signal. Autumn, every time you talk about food, I get hungry. Did I talk about food? When was I talking about? I'm trying not to talk about food because my stomach's growling. No, but so that's why we're doing it. But the other thing I thought was a great idea, rather than trying to stop yourself from doing that all day, which can be nearly impossible, they suggested disinfect the end of your pen and just get used to just using the tip of your disinfected pen if you need to touch your face or scratch. Okay, so just disinfect that, and then you can just go to town. Just leave that in your hand. If you're not actively using your hands on something else, just keep your pen in your hand and use that. Okay? So those are my two little suggestions for today. All right, let's look at, Trump. Is his reaction to all of this cruel, incompetence? Is it cruelty, incompetence, or traitorous? I'm gonna make 3 little piles here. I like how nice you guys are to each other, but I have to say, but not the same pen that you push the elevator button with. Yes, Harry's mom, exactly. Disinfect the end of your pen. We should disinfect our phones and iPad every day. That's a good idea too. Okay, I'm glad you guys mentioned something, because sometimes when I'm reading, I like how much you guys talk to each other, but sometimes it's like nobody's listening. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do my thing because I want to know. So anyway, all right, we are at 29. I'll make 3 piles. Is Trump's reaction a cruelty, incompetence, or traitorous? All right, Trump's reaction. Oh, he's mad. Oh, he is angry, petulant, taking it out on everybody. And swinging Diet Coke. Cruelty, incompetence, or traitorous? His reaction. Cruelty, incompetence, or traitorous? Cruelty, incompetence, or Traitorous. 5 of Swords. This is what I call the card of the arms dealer in this deck. Basically, he's focused on the economy, the money, instead of people. Yeah, we know that. All right, Trump. Is it cruelty? We have the 3 of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. Actually, what I'm getting is that he's distracted. I don't think it's just I don't think he's reacting this badly because just to watch people suffer. That's not what I'm getting here. I'm getting a couple of pages, which is making me think of his children and grandchildren. Not that he is capable of caring that much. Man is a sociopath, but malignant narcissists are yeah, they're not touchy-feely. This feels like he's distracted. He's not doing this to be cruel. Okay. Is he reacting this way because of his incompetence? Yes. Well, actually, it depends. What he's reacting this way because he wants to keep his base, and that's his core thing, and that's the cruise ship card. He wants the economy to keep going. In the Rider-Waite, this 4 of Wands is also the card I get because there's a big white building with a red roof in the background. It looks like Mar-a-Lago, so it's like people visiting Mar-a-Lago. And then his 6 of Swords, where it's all swords and it looks like he's going into battle and it's a big spectacle, but it's also a whole lot of hot air. So his incompetence is, and even just with the 3 of Wands I was getting here, he's focused on the wrong thing. Okay? Or is it traitorous? Is he trying to weaken? If I was getting anything other than the Sun card, I would say, who knows? Because this is his lies. This is a card of illusion and delusion. And this 4 of Pentacles, it can be the card of the miser. But in this case, it's Trump getting money. But this Sun card feels like coming to light. So it more feels like the way Trump's going to get in trouble for money at some point here, because reading after reading after reading after reading has said that, of this stuff coming to light. This is not, this is something happening in the future. This is not, yeah, he's focused on the wrong thing. So he's not doing it because Putin's telling him to, or he's trying to ingratiate himself with anyone other than keeping his base happy and bigoted, xenophobic, awful. Yeah. So that is what I'm getting for that. Okay, there's a new vaccine they are maybe testing in Seattle. I haven't heard about it yet, but let's just have a look. Are we going to get a vaccine in short order? Are we going to get, let's just ask, are we going to get a vaccine sooner than expected? Let's ask that, because that's really what we want. Vaccine sooner than expected. Okay, and we are at just about 35. Okay. All right. Thank God his cut in food stamps was stopped by legal order. Yes. Actually, I got a question from a patron the other day who was asking about Trump cutting disability payments, or cutting people off of the disability rolls. And I looked it up, and basically it was partially right, but the upshot was that that's what he suggested in his budget back in November. But what the president suggests for a budget really is a suggestion, and it would have to pass, yes, the Senate, but also the House, and that's not going to happen, and that didn't happen, at least as far as I'm aware. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. But are we going to have a vaccine sooner than expected for this mess? Going to have a vaccine or an active medicine to combat it, something like that, sooner than, because right now they're saying a year and a half, or whatever. Are we going to get a vaccine sooner than expected? Seven of Swords. It's the Thief card, and what I'm getting is if we're not careful, there are some people who would waste money for their own benefits. But okay, that's not really doesn't feel like it's the most important thing here. In the past, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So we have fought these kinds of wars before. And center of the reading, we have the Queen of Swords. She's getting up to take action. She's not a wilting violet, shrinking violet. That's what I'm trying to think of. Oof. Base of the reading. Again, faded. And then this is the message. Okay. So we will find out if they come up with something. It's below the reading. Above the reading, the Nine of Wands and the Strength card. So they're definitely actively looking. And there's a lot of important brain power out there, and work that's already been done. I mean, this is SARS 2. There was a lot of work done against SARS 1. All right, near future. All right, now before I show you these cards, hear me out. This question is about, are we going to get a vaccine or medicine to stop this sooner rather than later? Like within maybe a few months or 6 months rather than a year and a half, okay? We're asking about the vaccine. All right, so in the near future, we do have the Death card and Judgment. That is, we're asking about the vaccine. They are learning a lot. They've learned a lot from past, like SARS 1, or these other pandemics or epidemics, and there is a great deal of wisdom built into that. Okay, so I just wanted you to. They've learned from this. This is near future 1. This is near future 2. They're using what they've learned. Okay, home environment. We have both the Lovers and the Hierophant. I got 2 cards for the home environment. This is institutions, and this is just really. This is major partnership. These are both major arcana, and there are quite a few major arcana in this reading. Big spiritual forces, big spiritual currents. And this is people happily working together and working with the government. This is them working together, which is good. So it isn't like an argument between public and private, or private's trying to keep their information. hidden or no, this is good. This is very good energy. This is very much it feels like cooperation. Hopes and fears. That's spinning your wheels. It's going to take too long. All right, what we see, the Queen of Pentacles, we see a system that has a great deal of knowledge and money, and it's not a, you know, the healthcare knowledge in the world, if it was a person, would not be a 90-pound weakling. The medical knowledge in the world is advanced. Okay. Final outcome, will there be a vaccine or medicine sooner rather than later? And I keep picking up this card and it keeps catching on the other card and flipping it back down. All right. Final outcome. Okay, they've learned. They're looking at what they've already learned. Okay. And then the final outcome is these both feel like, okay, for a while we're going to have to take a defensive position and just do the normal thing. But then Page of Swords, the beginning, it feels like this is about to take off, and this is taking action and doing, you know, and we have the answer. So we're not out of these particular woods yet, and not tomorrow, but it doesn't feel, you know, maybe they're able to shave off a few months, or that this is progress, okay? And it really feels like there is a huge amount of knowledge already here. Okay? So Trump is, I think there was something that was just repeated, something about Trump offering a German company money to do work on a virus exclusively for the US or something like that. I wouldn't put it past him, but, well, then again, he does like spending other people's money. And yes, he is a monster. Yes. Okay. Our next question, are we headed for a depression? Or are so many people going to be homeless that they're going to make the 21st century equivalents of Hoovervilles and make Trumpvilles? So let's see here. All right, are we headed for depression and Trumpvilles and Great Depression type stuff? The astrology isn't there, but let's see what the cards have to say. Are there going to be a lot of homeless Trumpvilles? We're going to have an economic depression. Boy, tapping into the original energy of the Great Depression to say, is this kind of what we're going back to, or some version of this? It's, ooh, that is some understandably horrible energy. That really is shock there. It feels like the energy I'm getting from my guides is calm down. Everybody calm down. Calm down. Calm down. It's like, okay. All right. Justice. It actually feels like the court's stepping in to help stave off some of the worst of the mistreatment of the poor, but let's see what we've got here. Oh, thank you, Honest Tarot. All right, in the past, Knight of Pentacles again. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, our essentially laissez-faire capitalism, you know, take advantage of people with weaker economies in other parts of the world. Modern colonialism, in a sense. That's just what that feels like. Center of the reading. Queen of Swords. People are getting up and doing. Well, that was the other thing I was going to tell you guys. They did a study on, and apparently they did this before, but the study is on how to get people to take good action, like to wash their hands more often or something like that. And what they found is if they put up signs that were saying, this will save you from washing your hands will save you from disease or whatever. They did this in hospitals, and they had like 2 different bathrooms, and they monitored how much soap was used and water was being used in these 2 different bathrooms. And here they put signs about, this will help you, this will save you, this will, and then this bathroom they put signs up saying, this will save your patients. This will save, basically other people. And of the 2 bathrooms, it's the one where it was about saving other people, where they used a noticeable amount more soap and water in washing their hands. So if you're trying to convince somebody of doing something about this, keep that in mind. Maybe that will help convince them. Because sometimes that whole, human beings, yes, we want to do things that are in our own best interests, but I think in many respects there's also an underlying feeling within humans that we want to be a part of something important, and we want to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. So this getting up and doing, what do I need to do? You don't give me anything to do, I'm going to go out and buy toilet paper. Okay, you're giving me something to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to wash my hands. Okay, my hands are like Y Baby said the other day, they're like the Gobi Desert. We're good. I'm washing my hands. I'm doing exactly. Give me something to do. So, base of the reading. There's already a whole lot of gig economy going on, or people finding creative ways to make money, and there's also this hope, and it's the hope of new generation, technology helping with people already knowing that they are more flexible in what they do and how they do it. There was, I don't know if any of you ever read the book Who Moved My Cheese? And anybody who hasn't, basically it's these little mice, and they always go to the same place for cheese. But one day somebody moved the cheese, but the smart mice they were kind of expecting it. They were just kind of prepared, like, okay, well, if there's no cheese here, then I'm going to do this. And those are the mice who did well, because it's too easy to think, well, I have this job and I go there every day. And then suddenly, if that job's not available, my whole world turns upside down. My sense of self-worth goes, in the garbage can, and it's just worse and worse and worse and worse. And the cheese always moves. Yeah, let's not wait for our cheese, says Y Baby. Exactly. This is people who are very much used to the cheese is never in the same place. Or you get a little cheese here, you get a little cheese there, you get a little cheese somewhere else. And that's at the base, and that even that mindset helps immensely in times of crisis. And I'll never forget, there was in aviation, there's seniority of pilots and what have you, and there was a big dust up in this big company, big aviation company, about seniority, and there was one guy in particular who was complaining about it. And there were just all these people that were losing their jobs, and other people being knocked down from really prestigious long-term job down to, and this one guy, he got moved just a little. He got knocked out, but it was just a little. He got so lucky. But he was complaining about how awful it was and how unfair it was. And it's like, what, somebody moved your cheese half an inch? Really? So, yeah. Mitt Romney is advocating for every American to immediately get $1,000, says Prestiers. Whatever will help. Whatever will help. All right, above the reading, this feels like Trump being useless. Him lying and being useless and lying down. Trump lying and lying down. That's exactly what that feels like. All right, near future. Oh, it's going to hurt Trump. People are upset. That's Trump. Those are the swords in his political back. And this wasn't this card the near future in an earlier reading. Huge outpouring of emotion. But also, it's not all negative. I mean, I'm being drawn to, the water here. This may be a swamp, and you've got your lovely lotus flower there. But this water coming in, it looks quite clean. And this is people working together. Of really surprising ways, unexpected ways, which makes Trump look even worse for being this selfish, greedy, human embodiment of all 7 of the deadly sins. I don't have an opinion or anything. All right, home environment. Again, people coming together. People trying to find the good, trying to cheer each other up. I love this. This is great. So far, this is people taking action. This is people being flexible. This is people helping each other. This is great. This is not, I'm not saying it's going to be like everything's perfect, but no, there's good energy here. Hopes and fears. That the fear is about the people who aren't going to work with others, who aren't going to cheer other people up, the people who are going to just really take the whole sloth thing to heart. What we see. Well, we have to wait. Okay? So are we headed into some kind of depression with... Aha, interesting. All right, well, we knew here that people are helping each other and we can ignore Trump because he's useless. For the final outcome, there are these 3 cards. Okay, we got the 5 of Pentacles, which is poverty or illness or children being homeless. Okay, it's like, oh, okay, that's never good, but hey, this card feels like people contributing. Everybody contributing to help children. And look at that beautiful strength card. Look for the helpers. This is just helping and helping and helping and helping. I'm not getting catastrophe cards here. And I am getting just so much pulling together and kind of restoring faith in humanity for so many. Unfortunately, not everybody, because there are going to be some people who don't have, there'll be single mothers who are really stuck. There are going to be single fathers who are really stuck. There are going to be foster children and all these other things, but so many people helping each other, working together. Hierophant, 6 of Pentacles, the card of generosity, Page of Wands. Get the message. Getting the message of between the government finally getting their act together. And honestly, this feels as much like state and local governments as it does national. And this is a card of just human generosity. And getting out the message. This is positive stuff. I'm getting such positive energy here that I am not I don't know how bad economically things are going to get. It's almost like everything will be okay, and it will recover. Everything will recover faster because people are working together. So that's what I'm getting for that. And I'll take any positive energy at this point, if anybody's offering. Okay, headed. Okay, 55. Here I run for something worse. Yes, let's all send out positive energy. Every little bit helps. Exactly, Mims. Exactly. Yes, Pomo was impressive today, Salome. I was saying that when I first got on. It was very calming. Even what he was talking about, even though it was like, okay, these are our limitations, but we, when we're asking for help from people, and this does feel like a restoring faith in humanity type of situation. And the old selfish guard, it's just not going to be put up with anymore. So, let me see. Yeah, the people will work together while the scum at the top try to skim off. Yep. Autumn, this is such a positive reading. I agree. It's amazing. Okay, 50, actually I'm at 56 now. All right, is this a dry run for something worse? Is this whole situation, is this a dry run for something worse? I'm just going to throw 5 cards on this. All right, we are definitely looking into the future. Let us cast ourselves into the future. Is this a dry run? Whether it is nobler in the mind to take up arms against a sea of troubles. Whether it is nobler in the mind to face the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Yeah. Take up arms against a sea of troubles and therefore end them. Honestly, what I'm getting from this is people are panicked, people are upset. I understand that. I think we all can understand that. Even though I think everyone here, I think that probably the reason you are here, it's because we have a community where we want to help. And we want to be the helpers that Fred Rogers was always saying to look at. Look for the helpers. And there are always going to be calm people who can help you get through. So, but there is some panic out there. There is stress out there. Okay? And what this is saying is, because is this a dry run for something worse? What I'm getting is, it's up to you which way you deal with it. It's like saving money. If you put a little away each month, when a crisis comes, you've shown judgment. You've shown you can handle a crisis worse. If you think that you're going to be able to all of a sudden react and get, just do nothing. You don't do the little bits of pain to get that firewall, to create that buffer for yourself and your family, you're going to get hurt. If you think you're going to have to do it all at once, you're going to have fewer options, and you may not be able to react the way you want to. So all I'm getting for this is that it isn't yes or no, that it is like, yes, there's going to be, or no, there's not going to be something like this again. This is what I'm getting is a very general. There are crises that happen and are going to happen off and on, just being alive, being human. You choose which path. You choose how badly they're going to affect you and your family. That's what I'm getting. So that is what I'm getting for that. And for all the talk that, gosh, this whole hour, you do an hour every day, you know, it's too much to watch. I am always running out of time. So I'm afraid I've hit my limit for today, but I will be back tomorrow. And we're gonna get through this. We really are. So I am, hey, hey, ho, ho, 45 has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Trump the other day, he was wearing a USA baseball cap, and it was dark blue. And I was like, don't wear a dark blue cap. That's our color. And on the side, I think it said 45. And I was like, oh, then I definitely want a blue cap that says USA or something like that. And on the side, I wanted to say either, I definitely would want us to say 44 or 46. So, all right, my friends, lovely people, hang in there. We're going to make it, okay? So I am going to thank you, and thank you so much to our Troll Slayers. This would not be possible without you. Our moderators are the best. Seriously, if you see those, I don't know if you guys see moderators, if you see their names with a little wrench next to their names, or if I just see that because I make the moderators or not. But if you see them, just seriously, thank them because it's great. Okay? All right, so I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to get a drink, but then I will put in the timestamps for today, and so people can find the answers to whatever questions they want. They can just quickly zip right to those. They are put in the description box beneath the videos, and also I pin them as a comment, top comment, all right, underneath each of the videos. All right, so tomorrow I believe is St. Patrick's Day, and I've got a St. Patrick's Day cover made. I actually have covers made for the rest of the month, and I've got the live streams all set up for the rest of the month, and I've got a handful of covers for next month, but everything's set, so I'll be here. So hopefully you will too. Thank you. All right, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.